Now then, so like I said in the last one, we're going to draw our kit. So all your pens, well, you don't have to draw all your pens and pencils and brushes and things, but just a few of them. And it is a thing to draw your kit. I think it started with travel sketches, and the first thing they put in the travel book is a drawing of all the materials that was actually taken away with them. But it's sort of progressed into more than that now. And I think one of the good reasons for doing this is you get to know your stuff by using it, and if you're drawing what you've got, you'll get to know it a little bit better. I know that sounds a bit daft, but it's definitely a thing, and it is really quite enjoyable. But before we get started, there's a few little bits. I thought we'll do more painting this time, because I haven't done much painting before, and the reason I haven't done much painting is because I'm not the most confident painter in the world, to be fair. When I'm painting, I use paintbrush like I'm just colouring in, and if I think, well, I'm just colouring in, I might as well just colour in. So that's what I generally do. I just get pencils or felt tips and colour in rather than using paint. But I've already started a little bit, so I'll move over to this camera, and basically I'll get a pile of, I've got loads and loads of stuff here. Now these are my favourite pens, so I've already done one of those. These are the pencils that I've put in the kit bags, and that one. So I'll talk about those. So I'll move all the other ones out of the way. I'm just getting in the way right there. Where's my brush? Obviously there's a brush. That's what they look like when you've used them a bit. And mine are always... Oh, I've stuck that on. So, and then there's the little one there, but I don't think I'll be using the little one. Now I don't have the same paint pots. This is my paint pot. Now, so a couple of things. The first thing, I'm using a piece of paper. This is quite a thick piece of paper, and the thicker the paper, the better it is. And as you can see, it's all bending up. Can you see that? I'll show it there. Look, it's all bending up. So, and the reason is because I put a big wad of water down just to see how the paper would actually bend. Now, if you've made a little book, you can do these drawings in one of your books, or if you've got a sketchbook, do it in there, or if you've just got the sheets of paper, do it on your sheets of paper. One of the things I like to do is fold my paper in half. So I've got like a little book, I've got like 4 pages then, but entirely up to you. I've done this on just one big sheet, just so you can see everything I've been doing, just like I say, playing about, seeing what the paper's like. And yeah, so the first thing is a tip. When you're painting, always use a clean pot and a dirty pot. Now that's too dirty, so I'll go and clean that. So I'll go back to the big camera, and here we do. I'll do some clever editing where I'll just click my fingers and it'll go to clean water. Look at that. I'll go to that camera. That was seamless. Brilliant. Okay. So as you can see, I've already started doing a little bit. And what I want you to do is not be worried. I know I say this over and over and over again. Don't be worried about your drawing. But I'm going to show you a little trick to begin with, and I think I'll draw that pencil, the red and black one there. So I'll just put that there. So that's what I'm going to draw. Now, as you can see, look what I've already done. I've drawn that one. I'll put the tip out there. Look, I've drawn. Can you see? And then that one over at this side. I'll make it more central for you. so there might be a clue to what I'm going to do next. Because when you're drawing, I think the hardest thing is to actually get the shape of what you're drawing to begin with. So if you actually get your pencil, you've got to hold it down quite tightly, and then, now when you're drawing with the pencil, if you look, that goes to a point. So what you have to do is, in fact I'll do it so you can see it. So instead of doing it like this, you kind of have to do it so it's pointing in a little bit to try and get the shape. So we'll do that. So can you see I'm getting the shape of the outside of the pencil, and I'll go the other way like that, and around the end, and then around there. And remember what I said before, always try and do it gently, and if you make mistakes you can rub it out. So I've just drawn round it, but I haven't moved it because, can you see, I'll just put, because I've got several shadows here because I've got 3 lights going on. But what makes it look more 3D is if you actually have the shadow. So can you see the shadow that comes down there? So I'm just gonna put that in a little bit. Like you see, it's a bit wavy. Just a bit there we go. So now I'll move it. Now can you see? We've got the pencil, but I'll just draw that shadow in a little bit better and go where my finger wasn't, and then it comes round there like that. There we go. So if I put the pencil next to where I've just drawn, we can see, look, that's that little loopy bit. So I'll just put 1, 2 and 3 little loopy bits maybe. Yeah, and then at this end, can you see there, look? And it goes round. So if we put a little curve on there, it'll look, again, it'll look a little bit more 3D-y. And then the top of the bit of the pencil is there, like that. So now we have to draw in the lines. So if I draw those lines in like that, and that's a real quick way of getting a drawing of your pencil. I've gone a bit wrong in the middle there. So where's my rubber? I don't have a big rubber, I've only got the one on the end of this pencil. So let's just rub that out a little bit. Now, when I said rubbed it out a little bit, I really meant a little bit, so I can still see those lines that I've rubbed out. And the reason I've done that is so I know where to draw it in better next time. Because if I rub the lines out really hard, I wouldn't have any idea of what I did the time before. So I can still see those lines. I don't know if they're showing up on the camera, hopefully they are, and that way I know that that's where they are. Make that a little bit bigger. Okay, so that's what we've got to. So then, now it's always good to clean this part of your palette before you start. And the reason we do that is because the bit that was left there is still a little bit of paint. So if I'm, say, doing yellow, well, we're not, I've done the yellow, but say I was doing yellow, if I put yellow in there, it'd go all muddy with all the other colours. So okay, so this is a red. So let's get some water. I think it's quite a dark red. Let's get the pencil. Look, it's quite a dark red, is that, isn't it? So, so I'll use a little bit of that red, and I'll put it in there. Look, so so we can see. Now can you see there's a little bit of green left on the side, so I might just like get that in there to make that a bit darker, and it's worked really well as that. So we've got our dark red without actually mixing any of the colours, but we have actually put a little bit of green in there to darken that off. So I'll put a bit more water in there, like that, and so I've just got a clean brush with clean water, cleanish water, and then what I'm going to do is just I'm going to paint it just on the pencil where I'm going to paint, like that. So as you can see, there's a bit, so there's no colour on, I've just put some water on it. So I'll squeeze the water out, and I'm just going to pick up the colour that I've put into there. One reason it's really important to always, rather than going straight from there to there, always put it into your palette, and you know exactly what colour you're going to get. So now, because that's water, I'm just going to dip it, and it should flood the water that's already there with the colour that I've got on my brush. There we go. This makes it nicer. There we are. Now, if you do go wrong, like I've just gone wrong there, don't worry about that, just leave it like that. Can you see with this bit over at this side, look? I've gone right into there, but I'm going to show you about that in a minute. But I kind of like that. Those are little mistakes that I think are good for watercolours. So, now what we need to do now, always clean your brush out, then use your really clean water, and then dry your brush when you're finished. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to wait for this to dry, but I'm going to do the other bits, which is why I started doing these other bits first. Now first of all, as you can see, I didn't do that with that paint palette. I obviously haven't drawn around that. I tried to sketch that out, and I did it with a pencil first. And that's cool. Whatever you want to do, if you want to sketch out and then colour it in, or do the shading, whatever. Oh, in fact, I've missed a little bit on there. I'll do that with pencil later on. I'll leave it. No, what? I'm going to do it now. I've changed my mind. So, a little bit in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. Now this isn't black, this is what's called Payne's Grey. So can you see, that's what that colour is there.